the launch of the Bathurst website.
For this launch. My name is Janice McGilchrist. I'm a councillor with Bathurst Regional Council, and I also have the good fortune to serve as President for the Bathurst Community Website Committee. I'd like to welcome our Mayor, Councillor Norm Mann, to the proceedings this morning, and Councillor Mann is going to officially launch the website for us. Also our General Manager, David Shirley, who was here a minute ago. There he is. And also representing our local member, Gerard Martin, is Van Dartel. So thank you, Fran, for coming along this morning as well. Also, I understand Peter Highland is here. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting him yet. Am I correct? No? No, I can't think. Okay, we'll forget about that. Without regaling the events of the last 4 years, and there have been some in minute detail, it's worthwhile reminding ourselves of the reasons behind why and how this new resource has come to be, and how Bathurst, Wollongong and Ballarat were chosen to develop websites as part of the One City, One Site program. To that end, I'd like to introduce a lovely lady from the Department of Commerce, whose involvement and dedication to the project has gone far beyond her initial role as Project Officer of the One City, One Site project. Please extend a warm welcome to Natasha Scully.
Well, the day has arrived and it's a very exciting day today. And it's my honour to congratulate the Bathurst Community Website Incorporated Association and their partners, particularly Bathurst Regional Council, on this important day, on the launch of bathurst.nsw.au. And it's a very important day for the local community, as it is actually for the world, because this is a world first. For the first time ever, a community can own and manage its domain name based on its physical address being transferred to its virtual address. So Bathurst is in New South Wales, which is in Australia. So our virtual address is bathurst.nsw.au. And without the Bathurst community, this would never have happened. Members from this community were involved in lobbying the Internet Domain Name Authority starting back in 2000, so it's a couple of years now, to actually convince them that this was a worthwhile cause and project for the benefit to create an asset in a local community that would be run and managed by the community wholly and exclusively for community use. And those members of this community continued then to gather stakeholder support, got support from governments across Australia and the New South Wales Government support in running a pilot project to develop policy and implementation methodologies to actually get this to happen. And the lead test case in that was Bathurst, and so also was involved shortly thereafter was Wollongong and Ballarat, and I've just seen Wollongong arrive over there. Hi guys. Today marks, in a sense, the end of a long journey. It has been by no means an easy task, but this community has played an essential role in actually making it happen. But today also marks a new beginning, because this is the first site in the world to be run from a community geographic domain name, and it's up there live today from now, I believe. That's significant. The idea of what was known as One City, One Site was to create a space for communities that was exclusively for their use, and that includes every aspect of that community. local business, local government, community organisations, everything about a place, including sporting and cultural events and activities, to be located or have an avenue for virtual access. So the community virtually online, and for that to be run and operated from the community. And now that day has arrived. So it's very, very good. It's wonderful. The community has put in so much effort. Every single individual who has been involved in Bathurst Community website is pretty much in the room today, and you all deserve to be personally congratulated for your efforts in making this possible. Because you haven't just made it possible for your community, you've made it possible for all communities. And as we start this new journey, Bathurst will be the leading light for all those other communities, no pressure. That's really wonderful too. So congratulations on behalf of myself personally, who's been involved in this for a long time, and on behalf of the New South Wales Government who supported you right to today. And I guess it'll be the next exciting episode that we get to look forward to see how ADA implements the national model. And I look forward to all the new and exciting developments on the Bathurst Community website we'll be keeping up close with. So congratulations and thank you for all of your efforts.
A project such as this not only requires will and foresight, but it requires technical know-how. And thankfully the Bathurst Community Website Committee had such a person on board who not only had the expertise, but a huge, generous spirit. And I guess staying power is another quality that Mark, I'm embarrassed there, that Mark can attest to. Mark has been largely responsible for the building of this website. And he'll now take us on a virtual tour of what you can expect to see. So please welcome Mark McCormack.
Thank you. Yes, it is a big day and it's been a lot of work. There's been over 300 hours, development hours going to the production of the site, and there's probably another 300 to get it to where we'd like it to be ultimately, but that's all down the road. At this point we've got something to work with and we've got something to show people and we've got something that we can build on. So we'll go from there. There's the actual homepage itself. I'll just go through this briefly because there's obviously a lot that sort of goes into the making of the site, but we've got a number of key areas that we've broken the site into, and these are indicated across the top here. Arts and entertainment, business industry, community and people, employment and education, sport and recreation, and tourism and events. And each one of those areas will become a module in itself with information about that specific topic. This one, for example, the community and people. We've got a lot of information that will actually flesh this out over a period of time, including information on the heritage of Bathurst, hobbies and interests and sporting groups, village life, dining guides, all this sort of thing that'll help us sort of promote Bathurst as a region. We've already got a fair bit of information like emergency service contacts, which sort of comes up from this menu down the left-hand side here. Train timetables and transport information. A lot of that sort of information that'll be useful to not only local people but also visitors to Bathurst. Business and industry is probably going to be a key area for us as well, obviously, and I guess the big driving force behind that area is our actual directory, which has got, I think, just under 2,000 entries in at the moment, which includes not just business, but also sporting groups and cultural organisations and all sorts of community bodies are all included in that directory. And that's probably a good place to actually have a look at the directory if we can, we'll just do a search on one. We just go and search for Careen and see what, and it brings up the Careen Public School, which is one of the schools that's listed in the directory. That's then got all their contact information, logos, some photos. They can have documents that they need, they might want to offer for download. A lot of information about the entry itself and links to an existing website and an email address if they have those sort of things. We also have our event calendar, which if we actually go back to the home page, you'll see there's some of the events that are sort of close to the current date will appear in this area down the bottom here. But if we go to the event calendar itself, we can bring up a list of all the events for the coming 12-month period. So this should provide access for local community organisations, for example, to work out where they want to slot their event in amongst what other events are happening in the local area. If we have a look, we can have a look at all the events that are on in May or April, and it lists these. Now, community organisations will be able to submit their event for listing in the directory, and it's just got to be approved by one of the administration staff, and that will appear on the website. And what people might want to know as far as becoming involved, and of course, you know, the more community input and community involvement, the better, and I guess ultimately the better that the site will become. We've also got, just to duck across to one of these key areas again, sport and recreation, for example. There's a lot of information already in here about different sporting clubs, broken down into areas of indoor, outdoor, recreation activities and so on. And obviously there's enormous amount of work that's gone into, no doubt, much more information that will be added over a period of time and with input from the community.
Thanks for that. As Mark has said, it really is an evolving process, and this is the beginning of the journey, and I think it can only grow and improve from here on in. But again, it's with community involvement and support that's going to happen. Of course, this is a website that is owned and operated and cared for by the Bathurst community. That's the whole point of the website. As president of the website committee, member for Bathurst, Jared Martin has just joined us. Thank you, Jared, for coming over and that project today. I believe it's appropriate to acknowledge everybody I can who has had a hand in bringing us to this point. And please forgive me in advance if I leave anything out. Just make sure I don't. Current committee members: Ben Gillen, Bruce Cameron, Peter Fawkes, Michael Clancy, Mark McCormack, of course, Wade Fung, and Stuart Greenhalgh, and Pat Bradbury, who was past president as well, have all demonstrated remarkable staying power and patience with this project. But past committee members also, such as Sheena Frost and Peter Smith, also deserve thanks for their contributions. There are a number of supporters from the Bathurst community I'd also like to acknowledge. Previous Chamber President Lachlan Sullivan, Ken Sharp demonstrated a lot of support for this project. Tony O'Neill, the logo designs, a result of his efforts. Professor Bob Meyer, who assisted with the application in the first place for this bid. Of course, this project would not have been possible without the support of both the previous Bathurst City and current Bathurst Regional Councils. So thank you to previous mayors Eddie McIntosh, Kath Knowles, General Manager David Shirley, and our present Mayor, Norm Mann, for their undying support as well. So as a sign of thanks, we'd like to hand out a few little certificates. So I might ask Mohan and Mike to assist with this. Firstly, to the New South Wales Government Chief Information Office in recognition of the $10,000 grant made to establish the site, Natasha Scully. Thank you very much, Natasha. The Geographic Names Board, Greg Windsor. Is Greg here this morning? No? Well, we'll hold that over for Greg. Department of Education and Training, Tina Slattery. Thank you so much. The resources, clerical staff, everything that you've made available to the website committee, it's been invaluable to us. I might also mention that the former Regional Director, Chris Evans, also was instrumental in getting the ball rolling, so thank you to Chris. And of course Tina for keeping the ball rolling and making sure that we don't go without, so thank you very much. Julie Urban has been a real stalwart and worked tirelessly making sure we have our directory up to date, so thank you to Julie too. Central Tablelands Youth Connections, I might ask Tina to come back and collect a certificate in thanks to the CTYC. Oh, okay.
We cheated,
You cheated for their financial support, thank you. Charles Sturt University, to Pat Bradbury is going to accept this one, and of course they're giving financial support. And
I'm not going to kitchen.
And Bathurst Regional Council, I'd like to ask David Shirley to come up and accept this certificate for their ongoing support to date, and I'm sure that support will continue. Thank you. I'd also like to personally thank Heather and the staff for getting this together for us this morning, because we sort of just tossed the ball that way. She caught it, as she does, and helped us put the morning tea on and the launch. But without further ado, I think you'd like to see this thing launched, like really launched and officially. You go home and sit on your computer and surf to your heart's content. So I'd like to welcome our current Mayor, Councillor Norm Mann, to officially launch the Bathurst website.
I'd like to welcome the members of the Bathurst community, one and all, the website committee, special guests. Welcome, Jared. We seem to follow each other around, don't we? Volunteers and everybody that's had an interest or idea with it, or concern with it. And I'd like to especially congratulate the hard-working committee of the Bathurst community website for their achievements so far. It's been rather spectacular, and as Janice said, staying power, something incredible. It's been a long 4 years for those volunteers who put their hand up to see this project come to fruition. I can see a sort of a touch of irony in that Bathurst was the first inland settlement and now with the first community website. So tied together there, folks, and be very proud of it. I think it's terrific. Sorry, Wollongong. You can claim the coastal credit.
Must be good.
I've just got a brief thing that I think we all should be cognisant of, and I'll just run through a little bit, even though some of the previous speakers have touched on it. In 2002, in response to the One City, One Site federal government sponsored program, members of the Bathurst community came forward to be part of the pilot of this scheme to create community-owned and operated websites. In short, by securing the domain name www.bathurst.newsouthwales.au under the management of a community group would ensure access by all to what would become the city's official website. A support officer assisted in getting the project up and running until March 2004, when the not-for-profit Bathurst Community Website Committee was formed. A very small group of volunteers who have literally built the site from the ground up. That's really a fantastic achievement. In this highly competitive online era, it's probably more important than it has ever been that access and exposure to the World Wide Web is not limited to those only with commercial interests, and this project represents an attempt by the community to take ownership of its own identity, a commendable effort. Again, I commend the group on their enthusiasm in ensuring that the integrity of the domain name Bathurst remains open and available to the community. They are to be congratulated for the long hours they have spent in not only building and creating the site, but engaging other community organisations to be part of the project. And I think that's what's outstanding about it. It's not one group of people doing it, it's engaging people right through the community to be part of this, and I think that's what's a very strong feature of the Bathurst community. Now the website is live, it's an opportunity for the community to take ownership and be part of this exciting new phase in the promotion of Bathurst. I encourage community organisations, business and others to visit this site and see how you can be part of the future promotion of Bathurst. I congratulate Janice McGilchrist as President, you've got to be congratulated, and all your team, which have all worked as one in their efforts so far, and wish them every success with the project into the future. And I have tremendous pleasure, great pleasure in launching this website today. Thank you very much.
Well, I guess that wraps up the official side of things this morning. Thank you to everybody for attending and seeing us through this. Really, it's a milestone, not only for the people involved in the committee, but for Bathurst. So my thanks to the committee. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this journey. It's been my pleasure working with you and meeting you and discovering what Ben's got something to say.
No one asked me to say anything, but I'd like to. We all members of the committee work together, and I applied to Nancy Secretary, who did the work of about 6 formidable committees, and I think the Department of Education should get an extra little something for them. Of course, Mark, we have seen the product, and he talks about the hours, but I mean, there's something inside that brand that is beyond whatever I can understand, but we all enjoy that. So I would like to say special thanks to Michael.
We couldn't have done it without us. Well, without further ado, we've been launched. So I'd like to ask you to stay for a little while, enjoy some morning tea with us, perhaps pick the brains of some of the committee members and find out a little bit more about the new website, and then go home and have a real good look at it. Thank you very much for coming. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. All right, well, I'm glad. Yeah, I know how it works. So, all right, that's why I check first. I'll leave it up
Peter and Alison, welcome to Bathurst. You've come along to the launch.
Thank you very much.
Launch of the internet site, and I believe you've had lots to do with the internet. Could you tell me a bit about what's been going on in Wollongong?
Well, we were invited by Natasha to participate in the original study, and so Wollongong is also one of the 3 pilot studies that's being carried out. So we're engaged in these 2 processes, setting up our own site, as I said a moment ago. We're also from the University of Wollongong, and so we've been interested in studying this phenomenon of setting up community websites, and we've done a number of other special tasks as part of the overall project, developing how-to kits, working out things like how to improve the registration process for applying for your domain name. So those have been our 2 main tasks.
Very good. And Alison, would you like to add something to that?
I think that Wollongong and Bathurst have had very similar experiences. It's been really wonderful to be able to get the community involved in the internet projects, and I think it's a great opportunity for all the community to come together and be able to share their information and their activities through a website.
For sure. And how long has your site been operating now, or have you had any feedback yet?
We'll actually be launching our site very much as you have today in about 8 weeks' time. So the site's not live yet. We've had a lot of informal feedback. We've done some formal assessments of it, and they've all been pretty positive. People think it's a good site. We still need to get more data into the site, more entries in our directory and more content about Wollongong itself. So that's our plan for the next 8 weeks, to try and resolve some of those things, and we think it'll be quite successful once we've got that in place.
Right. Oh, it's such a wide-based concept, isn't it?
It certainly is.
So many offshoots. I'm particularly interested in, with the Remembers project, Michael was saying to me we might be able to even stream video or have archival history sources there. Is that able to be done with the internet?
Oh, absolutely, yes. The internet will deliver almost anything to almost any place. The main constraint is the bandwidth that people have available to them. So if you're looking at, say, streaming video, for example, you may have a very powerful connection at the end where the data is stored. It'll always be slow at the end where people are receiving it if they've got a slower connection. But more and more people in Australia are moving to broadband access, and what that's going to mean is that more and more people will be able to get access to things like streaming data that you're talking about. The great thing about it is they'll be able to do that from home, so you might have someone who's particularly interested in some of your archival footage who finds it difficult to get into the local town centre, to go to the library, to get access there. They'd be able to sit in their own home, suddenly think of something that they were interested in, look it up and view that archival footage within seconds on their own computer.
That's wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, it's such an exciting area for us all.
Yeah.
Internet is accessible to the individual, isn't it? It must have a great advantage there.
Yes, there's a whole range of possibilities about the way we gain access to things that we've typically bought in stores or we've paid for online. We'll now be able to stream them into our homes. So, for example, my niece belongs to a rock group. It's a very good little band, but she's never going to get bought up by one of the big radio or recording companies, which means she's never going to get any exposure under the current sort of marketing strategies. Using the internet though, she can put her material up on the internet and people can visit sites and say, well, that's good, I really like that, I must visit there more often. But what's even better is that there are actually quite simple mechanisms by which people could pay for that, so that even very small bands could become financially viable by producing a reasonable range of products that they made available for very small cost, because effectively they're cutting out the middleman, who's the huge record companies, or in your case, the huge film companies and the distribution companies. Suddenly your product can be available for very little. People can download a copy, save it, they have it, they pay you a reasonable amount. You as a small filmmaker or as an audio maker can continue to function and make an income out of that, perhaps as good as you might do if you were actually signed by one of the larger companies.
So thank you both. All the best with your site, and we hope to continue to make contact through the internet with you.
Well, we certainly hope so.
Thank you very much.
Michael, tell me about the Bathurst internet site.
Well, this particular website has been a few years in the making. It's really, the important part of it is it's going to be a place where you can find out everything you need to know about Bathurst as a town and as a community. It's going to allow community groups to put information up, get their message across. It'll be a great place for visitors to the centre of Bathurst to find out all they need to know about Bathurst, find out information like accommodation, attractions. They'll be able to find out how they can actually get to Bathurst. For the local people, it'll be a great source of news and information.
Wonderful. And Mike, with your knowledge of computers and digital media, will it be possible to send such things as video and the more complex files? Has the technology advanced that it's feasible to do that now?
Oh, it certainly has, Bruce, and I think these days we're able to actually send things right around the world, I think, with the technologies we have here, and we are becoming very much a global village. We used to talk about being a global village maybe 10 years ago, but it really has reached that stage now. And I was just saying to Michael, we had a call from a person over in England actually wanting to move towards Bathurst or Lithgow for work and wanting to know about education here in New South Wales, having no idea what it was about. And it would have been absolutely fantastic to point them to a site like bathurst.nsw.au and say, have a look at that site, and that will give you an overview of the services that are available in Bathurst. So I think it's a fantastic resource. Fantastic.
Well, great work. You guys are doing so much in pathfinding in these fields, which are going to have an implication, aren't they, to not only groups but individuals?
It certainly will be. With individuals, they will be able to get there and find out all the information that they need to know. They'll be able to contribute. And probably that's one of the most important things that we need in terms of the website, is we need individuals and community groups to actually contribute content to the site to make sure that all that information is there. And we're setting up subcommittees, and it'll be great for people who have something to contribute in our subcommittees. We'll have subcommittees for arts and education, for business, for tourism, for sport and recreation. And if anyone is interested in joining one of the subcommittees and helping us develop the content on that particular part of our site, they could contact info@bathurst.nsw.au, and we'll get back to them and let them know how they can become part of our subcommittees.
Great work, a tremendous project. Janice, congratulations on chairing such a group. It's a wonderful project.
It's been my absolute privilege to be involved with this group, because they're a really hard-working, dedicated group of people. I really admire the staying power and the amount of personal effort they've put into this project. So it's been the least I can do to serve as president for the last few months. So it's a great day to see it all launched and come to fruition after so many years of hard work.
And how long has the committee been formed for?
It's my understanding that the committee officially formed in 2004. But I believe that the group as such was in existence prior to that date. So it's been going for roughly 4 years.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
And of course you would hope everyone would come on board with this sort of project.
Oh, precisely. I mean, we want as many people as possible to really take ownership of this website, because that's what it's all about. It's a website that is owned and operated by Bathurst. So therefore anybody with any interest in Bathurst, whether it be at a community level or a business level, is strongly encouraged to get behind it, to make use of it, to buy into it, to really talk about it and ensure that it grows into the future.
That's wonderful, and in effect it puts Bathurst on the world stage, doesn't it, with the internet?
Well, it does. I mean, the Mayor made an interesting observation. I mean, Bathurst might be known for Mount Panorama on the world stage, but Bathurst is also the oldest inland city. So it's kind of fitting that it's the first regional city to have its own domain name website. So there's a nice little synergy there that works well.
Thank you, Janice. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Way, you're a member of the committee and have a lot of knowledge about the internet and the technical side. Can you tell me what some of the things you would like to see happen with the new website?
Website would be the gateway to Bathurst,
Right.
where subcommittees will take charge of their own area of interest, and they would input, develop
Right.
functionalities within the site. For example, for sports person, their competition point system will be posted, venues.
This site is good for not just groups but for individuals. Is that the case?
That is, as I said, it is a gateway. It is a place where people look in the first instance when they seek information. So if you're a business and you like to be like to describe your specific area of business, that you could actually better target your audience especially through the directory search facility that is been developed by the website.
Right. And we were talking just about some of the other exciting things you were mentioning, people accessing material like iPod or such, and being able to feed information. Could you tell us about some of those things? And I believe you're going to have an internet cafe doing that sort of work.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, this is it's early stage of the internet, but I believe it is a transitional from an analog domain to a digital domain. So there is a need to transfer your old analog pictures, your paper pictures, to a CD, for example, or your VHS to a DVD format, so that you can easily distribute it to your friends and families. Yes, and yeah, through the net, you know, the hassles of posting, getting lost, breakages, yes. Or just posting it to send it via email saying my son's first birthday,
right?
Blowing out the candles is here. You just have a
yes.
look at that, Grandma.
And you can go to the other side of the world in an instant, can't you?
That's right.
It's such
yes,
a wonderful
yes,
medium.
Yes. So that's why it would be the gateway to, you know, the people that live afar, to be in touch with, you know, be in touch with the area that you grew up in, and also just to keep in touch with family.
Oh, wonderful. And from talking with you earlier too, I believe you'll be putting this production that I've shot together, so
yes.
It is very opportune to be talking with you as one of the production people, and myself as a cameraman, and liking to have contact with people that we can use material on the internet makes it all so exciting. So look forward to working with you, and all the best with the site.
Great, thanks a lot, Bruce.